Hi, I'm Brad Ross, Head of Corporate Communications for the TTC, and with me is Andy Byford, the CEO of the TTC, and we're at the corner of University and Dundas Street West, just outside St. Patrick's Station, Andy, to talk about elevators and accessibility and easier access.
It's a very important project for us here at the TTC. We are committed to make the TTC fully accessible by 2025. So that means putting in elevators into stations that really weren't designed for that back in the 50s and 60s when the majority of the TTC subway was built.
So let's talk about St. Patrick, because that's where we're going to see some impacts to motorists and pedestrians and a little bit to our customers. Two elevators are going in. The first behind us on the northwest corner in that building won't have much of an impact on motorists and pedestrians.
No, less of an impact, because effectively there what we're doing is putting an elevator in from the street level down to concourse level, so that gets built effectively on that side of the intersection, so that one has less impact. The second elevator though needs to go from the concourse down to the subway platform, and that subway platform is effectively directly beneath us on this median along University Avenue. So that's the work site. It has to be done very carefully, because obviously we've got to maintain the integrity of our tunnels while we put that elevator in.
Let's talk about the impact that pedestrians and motorists will see at this intersection, please.
Sure. So for pedestrians, that north side crosswalk will be closed, but pedestrians will still have two ways to cross the road, either underground through the station concourse or using this set of crosswalks on the south side.
Okay, and for motorists, we'll have some lane closures.
There will be lane closures, one lane in each direction. It will be well signposted, and we'll make sure of that.
Now, what about impacts on service? Streetcar service, the 505 Dundas streetcar, the subway, businesses, the hospitals. What are the impacts on them?
Business as usual. The subway will keep running, the streetcars will keep running east-west, the hospitals, all these businesses in this very vibrant area will be fully accessible and open for business. So although obviously we'll have a work site here, we'll make sure that those businesses and the service are maintained as usual.
Okay, let's move on now to the entirety of the Easier Access program and making subway stations accessible, elevators, fare gates, doors, new signage.
Well, basically, it's making the stations fully accessible. So that's primarily putting in elevators, but there are other features as well. And this is a program that we've developed with ACAT, which is our Advisory Committee for Accessible Transit. We've worked very closely with them and with local community groups to make sure that we get elevators into all the stations.
And of course, under the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act requires that all subway stations be accessible by 2025.
It does. So we're mandated to do that. It's the right thing to do. So you know, I'd like to think we'd do it anyway, but by law we must comply with that deadline, and we will.
And all of our new streetcars will be here by 2019.
Fully accessible. Our bus fleet is already fully accessible. So we're making really good progress on completely retrofitting the TTC to be fully accessible. I'm very proud of that.
And we'll have accessible doors, accessible fare gates, signage and wayfinding. It's
absolutely
all part of that program.
Tactile strips on the platforms, braille on the elevator buttons. There's a raft of features, and again, ACAT give us fabulous advice on that to make sure that we get it right.
Andy, let's talk a little bit about the challenges, because they are significant. These are old facilities, old structures that we need to install elevators in. It can't be easy.
The stations themselves, the footprint of them is quite small, so it's actually quite difficult to squeeze an elevator into a station footprint in what is often a dense urban environment like this. But you know, at the end of the day, we are determined to meet that challenge. We will meet that challenge. We will meet the deadline of 2025.
And then there's challenges that not just is for space, but also utility relocates, like at DuPont, which is having an impact on traffic in the area.
Yeah, don't forget, I mean, underground, there's a lot of stuff down there, right? There's sewers, there's electrical cables, cable TV. In a modern city, you've got a lot of utilities underground that often have to be moved. But we know what we're doing, we're good at it. We've done around 35 of the stations so far, and we will get the program finished.
So most recently, we saw Ossington Station open.
That's right, on time and on budget.
On time, on budget. And later this year, we'll see Coxwell, Woodbine, and St. Clair West. Yep. And then under construction, St. Patrick, as well as Royal York Station.
That's right. So we're making really good progress. We've got around 35 stations out of the 69 done to date. The new stations on the Spadina extension will, of course, come fully accessible, and we'll get the remainder done by 2025, which is a big ask, and actually we'll be ramping up the program over the next few years, and at one point in the not too distant future, in the next couple of years, we'll have 17 stations under construction. So we'll keep service running, but that really is a big construction program that we've got ongoing.
And of course, Andy, this is about making public transit accessible to all.
It is, and I'm very proud of the fact that this is part of modernizing the TTC. Ultimately, our vision is a fully accessible system that makes Toronto proud. So we're on the right track. We're going to hit that deadline, and we appreciate our customers' forbearance while we undertake these critical works.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching. For more information about the TTC's Easier Access program or accessibility in general, please visit our website, ttc.ca.